The free $20,000 MLB 10 Runs for Free Cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR Forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorer split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR Forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome into SportsBookReview.com. It is Tuesday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. The last day of August 31st, 2021, turns into September tomorrow. Down the stretch they come in Major League Baseball. Thank you guys for joining us right here on the Major League Baseball Show. I'm Donnie Seymour, along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the Major League Baseball team right here on the channel. Yesterday, get a base hit, runners in scoring position. Anybody. Tampa, Boston, somebody do it for me. They couldn't do it yesterday, but I got a couple games today I am looking at, so we're going to get back on that winning track today. Jason, welcome to the show. How was your Monday? We didn't expect you to even be here on a Tuesday.
Yeah, look, things are moving slow, I think, on the bank's end, so, I'm going to be here for a little bit longer. Yesterday, Cueto, I'm sitting there eating dinner, and Cueto gets scratched from his start. Had to run back upstairs, figure out who was starting for the Giants and figure out if I wanted to do the play or not. I realized I didn't really want to do the play for the Brewers over 2 last night. Then I go to WinBet, try to cash out, and they don't give me that option. So I'm like, all right, well, guess I have to just roll with it. Well, of course, we get 2 runs with a Corbin Burns RBI single to get that second run, and then no more runs, get that push, and, it was kind of like a cash out, right? So a weird night there. But did get Brandon Lau hit a home run. Thanks to Kyle for reminding me on that one.
Yeah,
I was still trying to figure out what was going on with that Giants-Brewers game with Cueto being out. So got that little home run there. Obviously, the value play didn't hit off of we missed it by, I think, 1 run in that Red Sox-Rays game. But getting that odds boost helps a little bit. And I'm here. No house yet. So.
Now, here's the interesting thing, because there are rumors going around that A, Jason's never seen the house he's buying, and B, sent all his money to a Nigerian bank account for his house to close. So, Kyle, that's what's going on out here in the streets.
I heard they had to, it was some delay. They had to do some construction and widen the front door there for those traps of Jason to fit through when he's done at the gym. He had to get in. Like, hey, I can't even get in this damn thing without turning sideways. Let's fix that, and then we'll renegotiate. But no, glad Jason's here. It was a rough night. Outside of a few home run props, he did hit 3 home run props, but other than that, absolutely stunk for me. The Braves couldn't get that final run. The Giants couldn't do a damn thing. The Braves are striking out left and right in the first 4 innings of that game. So hoping to bounce back today. Looking forward to it. Appreciate everyone being here in the chat box. Not every day can be a glorious day. We've had a lot of really good days here we talk about. So once in a while, we got to eat some crow. Tuck our tail between our legs. And you just got to come back. We got to come back. So glad Jason's here for it. Let's get it done.
Yep, looking to win some money, and obviously saw Lee Martin on the video to open the show. Still going on Major League Baseball. Saw somebody cashing in for like $1,200. I mean, it's free money out there. People in the streets. Pick some of these team totals. Get in the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball contest all the way through to the playoffs, and also the Pick Six contest here at sportsbookreview.com. NCAA football, professional football, $50,000 up for grabs, $1,600 per week. Make sure you're getting that contest. And if you're seeing, and hey, how do I find it? How do I get, where's the information coming from? Look at the top of the chat box. Click that link right there where it is yellow and says SBR Sports Picks. Or if you just need to get to the link for sportsbookreview.com, take it right there, sbrpicks.com/MLB. Read up on everything you need to know about some of the more interesting doings here at sportsbookreview.com. We are watching a game here today because it was delayed from months ago, and it's just reappearing in front of our face. But you know what's not reappearing in front of our face, Jason? The Mets scoring runs.
Yeah, and they had a couple guys in scoring position today, and back to the old stuff. But still got a lot of innings to go. Only 2 runs can come back and try to get this win. And of course, have another game tonight. If we can get a 4-game winning streak going, we'll be back in the race in the NL East. And I know the Phillies, they've been a little bit hot as of late as well. So we're both maybe getting hot at the right time with the Braves having to play in the NL West over there. So let's go. Let's get some wins here with the Mets.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff to look at, Kyle. And I was watching the game, and I caught out of the corner of my eye Lindor making yet another out. And there was a guy sitting right behind the dugout with like a Twitter thumbs up, which is hilarious that he's looking at. So they hadn't. Here's the best part about it, too, because you saw the reports come out. They had the closed-door meeting between the Mets. We're going to keep that internally. So I'm led to believe that meant like, hey, guys, you can't say this. Hey, Skip, we hate these fans out here. All right, let's keep this in the house here so we don't let it get out. All right, cool. Let's go out there and play some baseball. Any thoughts here early on this game between the Mets and the Marlins? Quite frankly, I don't know if he even had obviously there's live lines on the game, but I'm not sure there was even a recharged live line because looking at game 2, obviously it's a doubleheader, second half, 7 innings when this one's going 9. Any thoughts on this game now? Because you're taking a look here live, -325 on the Marlins right now is a live number at the FanDuel Sportsbook.
Yeah, none of that's happening. I did not smoke that much peyote this morning. There's no way in hell I'm laying $3 on the Miami Marlins, even though they are playing the hapless Mets, who I do think are completely done. No, for me, most likely for the rest of the season, anything involving the Mets or is probably just not something I'm going to jump on. It's going to have to be they're going to have to face a terrible righty, someone who I just know those lefties, no matter what, have to hit, and essentially needs to be T-ball. But till then, especially this early in the day and all the weird stuff today, the doubleheader with it and all that, stay the hell away from the Mets. Let them sort out what the hell's going on, and let Jason stress on them for everyone.
There you go. Top of the 5th inning, 2-0 here in Miami as they kick up to the plate. So we'll keep an eye on that game. If anything changes, we'll certainly keep you guys updated here. But let's get into the Major League Baseball card. Boston and Tampa Bay. 9-17, 9-18. Not really sure who the pitcher is going to be for Boston. On one of my reports here, I do show Garrett Richards, which I guess would be a good thing if you're looking to back Tampa Bay. 146s, 135s, 136s out there, and 8.5 is a total. Yesterday, very disappointing. Solo home run I got out of the Boston Red Sox early in that, second inning, I believe it was. Couldn't scratch out another run over the first 5 innings to get that. But the one that was even more damaging to me was the 1-for-9 that Tampa Bay runners in scoring position over the first 5 innings. Because I had the odds boost sitting at 6 runs. They could have hit that if they got 2 more hits with runners in scoring. Hey, how about 3-for-9 with runners in scoring position or some decent outs as opposed to striking out? That could have hit, as well as the first overall 5 innings at 4.5, which ended up losing by 1 run there. Just needed 1 more. Things happen like that, and that's the way it goes at the end of August and through September, fighting back here. But this game, taking a look here today, Yarbrough is going to be on the mound for Tampa. Good-looking lineups, theoretically. Just want to make sure who Boston's going to start at pitcher, because if they go Garrett Richards, then you're probably looking Tampa Bay immediately right off the bat here, Jason.
So Yarbrough, 5.87 xFIP in the last 30 days, striking out just 12.3%. Yeah, he's been really bad. But also, you look at this Red Sox lineup in the last 30 days, they really haven't hit lefties all that well. They've been a team that has really done well against righties instead of lefties. So that's one thing to look at. If you're looking to take the Red Sox in that game, just a 128 ISO for the projected lineup there against lefties. And of course, Garrett Richards potentially on the mound for the Red Sox. We don't know for sure. He did pitch 4 pitches in 1 batter against Cleveland on the 28th, and then on the 27th, he had 3 batters, went just 9 pitches in 1 inning there. So he just had 11 pitches or 13 pitches in 2 games against the Indians from 827 to 828. So probably well enough to pitch in this game. But even if he does, I wouldn't expect him to go 100 pitches in this one. So I guess when we know the pitcher, we'll know a little bit more. But even if Richards is the starter, you can't expect him to go 100 pitches in this game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out, because when you take a look at Tampa, just that solid baseball team from start to finish. And it's amazing because yesterday, Patino's xFIP was through the roof. And then I take a look today, Kyle. Ryan Yarbrough, second half of the season, 31 2/3 innings pitched, through the roof as an xFIP number. Does it not matter with Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
I got to tell you what, I like this Red Sox team total over 3.5 over at BetMGM. It's at -135. It was really, really close to being my play of the day. Let's just talk about what these – I know they were pathetic yesterday, and it's very disappointing. But Ryan Yarbrough, for his career, the projected lineup for the Red Sox, a .410 career average, 43 out of 105. It's one of the highest weighted 3-year OPSs on the card. In his last 5 starts against Boston, nothing more than 15 fantasy points. 15, 4, 3, -3, and 12. This lineup has absolutely smashed Ryan Yarbrough. So I like that Red Sox team total over 3.5. It was really close. Like, I don't even mind adding it to the value menu right now. I was having a hard time finding totals earlier because Boston hadn't decided on a pitcher. I actually think both teams' totals are live. They're giving one for the Rays here at BetMGM. You can get over 3.5 at -160, especially if it's Richards on the mound. Both those team totals are low. It's below the game total. So I like both those. They could both hit. They could both hit 4 runs and still go under. Well, it'd be tough. You'd have to go to extra innings. So I suppose it would make it as I think that out. So, yeah, I think the over in the game is live. I like both teams to hit. Really like how the Red Sox profile off of Yarbrough. They've got some hitters in their lineup tonight. J.D. Martinez, 12 of 21 in his career off Yarbrough. 6 doubles, 2 home runs. His home run prop absolutely live. Xander Bogaerts has a home run off of Yarbrough. Alex Verdugo has a homer off of Yarbrough. Bobby Dahlbeck has a home run. I mean, it's a reoccurring theme here. Christian Vasquez in 23 at-bats, 3 home runs off of Ryan Yarbrough. I think the Red Sox score some runs tonight. I think that over 3.5 makes a ton of sense, -135.
Yeah, they better, because Yarbrough's terrible over the last 30 days, but also maybe one of the worst lineups over the last 30 days versus lefties is the Boston Red Sox. I mean, let's take Munoz, 0.0 ISO power number. Schwarber, 0.067. Bogarts, 0.121. Devers, 0.0. You got to be like Schwarber. Remember he was going to be Babe Ruth and hit 60 home runs? The guy's at .067 ISO power number now down the lefties. Devers, .051. You're talking about some of the elite hitters in Major League Baseball, at least for part of the season, really struggling for his lefties. So something has to give tonight, whether it's Yarbrough or it's just Boston. Something's going to wake up, one to watch. And again, playoff, atmosphere, so to speak, in the Trop with 300 fans in the stands, which is what they get each and every night. But is what it is there. Let's keep going. New York Yankees, Los Angeles Angels. This game, I actually like the total for the game over with both teams, and rightfully so. Pinnacle opened up at 8.5. That now sits at 9.5. Here in New Jersey, FanDuel, 9 turns into 9.5. A heavy favorite here for the New York Yankees. I'm assuming that they didn't know who was going to pitch, because there's no way it went from 117 to 190 offshore and 120 to 198. So it must have had an error in something that flipped that one around, because no line's going to move that much just based on pitchers. But the Yankees should be able to get to Berea, but also the Angels. You're trusting, Jameson Taillon, a little bit of a struggle over the past 30 days. But that lineup for the Angels, it looks bad, but I do still think there can be runs tonight. Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, look, the Yankees, they have so much power. We talk about this all the time. That middle of the lineup, you Judge, Stanton, Gallo, Voit, all have crazy good power against righties in the last 30 days. Now, Berea, 5 xFIP, striking out 15.9%, doesn't really get that many ground balls in his line drive percentage.
Hey, how about that? You like that, Kyle?
That's the best. Look at that picture. Someone take a screenshot
right
of
there.
it.
Now, see what happens when you gamble too much. You can't afford your house or the internet here. So
Exactly.
We'll carry on until Jason gets back. But by the way, leave that picture up for the rest of this show. That is sensational right there. But Kyle, I'll skip to you right on this game. We'll take a look at Yankees and the Angels. As I was saying, I like the Yankees lineup, and what Jason was compounding on. A lot of the big meat in that lineup for the Yankees is starting to produce, particularly against right-handed pitching. Berea, over the last 30 days, Kyle, 5.0 xFIP. Lefties and righties both pounding this guy. I like the Yankees. It's a heavy price to pay, but maybe just looking at a team total, getting those full 9 at-bats, maybe Ohtani goes yard. But the rest of that offense for the Angels doesn't look all that great, even though I do think they can hit here.
Yeah, I actually think as long as Ohtani's in that lineup, you're getting a team total of over 3.5 for the Angels. I do think that's live. Do I love this lineup? No, but guys like Walsh and Ohtani off the righty Tyone, and you have to look at some of the tertiary guys here. Jose Iglesias is 6 of 8 for his career off Tyone with a home run. So some of these guys have had nice success. The lefties, of course, profile well. Justin Upton, he's pretty similar against righties and lefties. So the Angels have some potential to get that 3.5. Of course, you can't bet against the Yankees right now with a team like the Angels. The Yankees are red hot. I do think that Yankees team total is live. It's at what, 5.5 now is what it's sitting at. So it's a little dicey. You got to get them to 6 runs, and you know how the Yankees can be. But again, we have a bad pitcher, a bad bullpen. Yankees team total is live. This game reeks of over. Tyone has not been great. He's not necessarily been great against the Angels either in his last couple of starts, a 0 and a 19. So it's not anything to write home about. Both team totals are live. Lean the Yankees here. If you want to go minus 0.5 in the first 5. The problem is Tyone's hittable. And the Angels can get some quick home runs, and next thing you know, they're down 2-1 after 5 innings. So for me, it would be team totals only on this game, and I think both teams are live.
Yep, Jason's back as he re-upped his prepaid minutes on his internet here, so we're ready to rock and roll. Jason, go ahead, finish what you had on the Yankees, because
quick loan from the parents.
The same thing you were saying. The meat of that lineup with the Yankees is starting to produce, and they should hit tonight.
Yeah, just a lot of power in the Yankees lineup against righties in the last 30 days, and Berea also allowing line drive contact at 32.1%, hard contact at 52.8%. So with the Yankees, they do strike out a ton, but when they make contact, that ball's going to go over the fence. And so I do like the Yankees to score plenty of runs in this game, and I agree with both Donnie and Kyle that this game should go over.
All right, we're just talking about a game that we think is going to go over and get runs. How about the next one, 9-11, 9-12, Atlanta and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Morton and Buehler, playoff atmosphere out here. If Buehler has a very good start, does he start to lock up the Cy Young Award winning, or Cy Young Award winner for the NL? We'll see what happens here. But if you're looking from a betting perspective, it looks like the bettors are agreeing here that the Dodgers could be the play. Minus 165 opens offshore Pinnacle. That now sits 185. How about here in New Jersey at 178? That turns into a 198. And also 8s turning into 7.5s across the board. Two powerful lineups, but two damn good pitchers on the mound tonight. I could see maybe a 4-2-3-1 type ball game tonight, hoping once again that the Dodgers pull it out, Jason.
Yeah, more than a 2.30 xFIP in his last 30 days. That's how good he's been. Probably from an analytic standpoint, he's been better than Buehler, which is really hard to do at this time. But yeah, Morton getting 55.2% ground balls. He's allowing just 29.9% hard contact. He struggled a little bit against righties, but not too bad. The walks again they're low, and the strikeouts are really high on both sides of the plate. So a lot to like out of Morton as of late. And then of course Buehler 3.32 xFIP. He's been just as good. The line drive percentage a little bit higher at 27.7%. Hard contact also a little bit higher. And I will say the Braves, they do have a lot of power in their lineup against righties. You have Riley, Swanson, Darno, Duvall. All those guys are hitting for high ISO as the Mets go down 3-0 and break my heart on this show again. But I think I like the Braves more in this game. Morton's looked really good. I think there's a little bit more power in that Braves lineup. And if the Mets are going to struggle to win games, just go for it, Braves. I don't care anymore.
My, how the times have changed here. Yeah, but it's kind of tough. And also, watching that play, the ground rule double. I mean, get that out of baseball completely. It makes zero sense. Theoretically, if you hit a double into the gap and it bounces over the fence, it should be 3 bases out there. The guy on first should score. Whoever else was on base should score. And the other guy should at least land on second base. That makes sense at this point here, but that's for another day, another dollar at this point. But interesting doings here with the Braves and the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers still, said it all along, haven't wavered one bit. I still think the Dodgers are going to catch the San Francisco Giants in the NL West. I still think the Dodgers by far are the best overall team in baseball here. So if we're lining up a really good pitcher on the mound for the Dodgers, I'm always going that way, Kyle.
Exactly, and I think the number's short on Walker Buehler. Before I get started on this, it's going to piss me off. 41 thumbs up with 300 people. Like, I haven't had to do this in a while. You guys have been on this. Hit the damn thumbs up. I know yesterday sucked, okay? But hit the damn thumbs up button anyways. Don't give a damn. It's going to piss me off. Let's go. Okay, so this game, look, I agree. Morton's been very, very good. He doesn't profile horribly against the Dodgers here, but he certainly profiles worse than Buehler does against the Braves. It's the lowest weighted 3-year OPS on the card at 567. We saw how much the Braves struggled last night till later in that game. So I do like the Dodgers here in the first 5 innings, minus 0.5. It's at minus 125. I think that's a very short number for a guy who's probably the front runner for the Cy Young in the National League. I trust the Dodgers more. I think they're as powerful and as good as that Braves lineup looks. The Dodgers lineup makes it look like a AAA lineup. Period. Plain and simple. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball. I don't mind the Nerfy in this one. I do think it's a little bit lower scoring in the first 5, but if there's a team that I'm trusting to score early against an elite pitcher, it's certainly the Dodgers right now over the Braves. So I'll take the Dodgers minus 0.5 in the first 5, and we might be getting something on the value menu tonight on this game. We'll have to see if I still feel that way in, about 5 minutes.
Value. That's the time of the card we're going to get to now. Firing on some fast food. I got to tell you, after yesterday's disappointing performance for me in the Boston Red Sox Tampa Bay game, if I don't win tonight, my kids probably, instead of going to a nice university or a nice high school here, going to Bishop Sycamore. So that's the way I'm going to leave it at that at this point. I need some W's here to get after it. You know where we're going to go? Lay down with a dirty dog tonight. Dirty dog. Bet MGM. A little bit juicy, but we're going light on this one here. The Baltimore Orioles. It's a minus 160. But it's sitting at 2.5. I'm going to get 9 at-bats to get 3 runs. Now, 100 Ryu is a decent pitcher, right? Lefty on the mound, but a 4.55 xFIP over the last 30 days. In the second half of the season, he's got a 4.15 xFIP. That's right around average, and that's right into the wheelhouse of what I want to look at. Why is that? You are going to get a stack of right-handed batters going up against Hyun-Jin Ryu. And over the past 30 days against him, right-handed batters, 93 of them. A 3.38 weighted on base percentage, and a 213 ISO power number. Enough to get 3 runs. They should be able to get it tonight. And if we take a look at the lineup, lefty Cedric Mullins to lead off. Okay, the rest of them are supposed to be right-handed batters in the anticipated lineup. Take a look at some of these ISO power numbers over the past 30 days versus left-handed pitching for the Baltimore Orioles. Mountcastle, 429. Mancini, 156. Santander, 216. Hayes, 311. Severino, 194. Urias, 324. Mateo, 267. Gutierrez out of the 9 hole, only 6 at-bats. He's at a 0.0, but still at a weighted on-base average of 405. I think you're getting enough decent clean at-bats. They should be able to get to that 3. So I'm going to lay down with some fleece and come up with a 3 spot at least for the Baltimore Orioles as my value play. Jason, what are you looking at today on your card where the value is at?
I've got 2 games, and we'll stick with that game for the first play. I do like the Blue Jays here to get 3 runs or 4 runs in the first 5 innings. I'm going to take that over 3 at minus 121 for the Blue Jays against Keegan Aiken. 6.52 xFIP, striking out just 17% of the batters and walking 9% in the last 30 days. Also, the ground ball rate is very low, and he's been awful against righties with a 359 weighted OBA and an ISO of 200. Obviously, in this lineup of the Blue Jays, you're going to get a full lineup of righties. George Springer's back in the lineup. We don't need to call the Blue Jays and figure out where he is at. And if you look at what he's done to lefties in the last 13 plate appearances before he left for the IL again, 818 ISO and a 683 weighted OBA in the last 30 days when he was healthy. Marcus Semien has been one of the best power hitters in all of baseball, not really talked about. Really good ISO there. Hernandez and also Smith at the bottom of the order has some good power. Of course, Vladimir Guerrero getting a little bit hot. So I like this lineup a lot. I think they can get the job done against Aiken in this game. And so I'll take that 3 and then hope they get 4 instead of getting that push at 3. And then the next one will be the White Sox over 2.5 in the first 5 innings against Bryce Wilson of the Pirates. Get to this game quickly. Now, Bryce Wilson didn't have a bad outing in his last one, just 2 hits in 5 innings against the Diamondbacks. But this is a guy where he'll have games where he has 7 strikeouts and he'll have games where he has 0 or 1 strikeouts. This is a game where he probably has a lower amount of strikeouts. If you look at the White Sox, their projected lineup strikes out just 18.4% of the time. Also hitting line drives 23.6% of the time. Weighted OBA 360, ISO 204 for that projected lineup. Bryce Wilson getting ground balls just 28.1% of the time. Giving up line drive percentage of 36.8%. So the White Sox should have a lot of line drives, a lot of potential for home runs, especially out of those righties. Those righties, Robert, Abreu, Jimenez, all can go deep in this game. So we'll go with the 2.5 in the first 5 there for the White Sox as well.
In the famous movie State Property, Beanie Siegel, you're either going to get down or lay down, Kyle. Where are you going tonight with your value money?
We're getting down, and I think I'm going to do 3 value plays. I know the Red Sox have sucked, and I know their bats have been frustrating, but the more I look at those numbers, and that history versus the team. I think that 3.5 is a nice little number. They're over 3.5 at -135 over at BetMGM. I'm also going to go with the Dodgers -0.5 in the first 5 at -125. I will just take that short price with Walker Buehler on the mound. That's why we're going light on this. There is certainly risk. The Braves have the power to score early on anybody, but I do prefer the Dodgers lineup and Buehler over Morton in the Braves lineup. It's relatively close, of course, I get it, but I'll take the short number on the Cy Young front runner. And one more, I like the Houston Astros over 4.5 tonight at -110. They actually profile really, really well off Yusei Kikuchi. I know Kikuchi hasn't been, isn't necessarily terrible. His last 3 starts have been really, really bad. His last start against Houston was just a week or two ago. He had -7 fantasy points. 3 of his last 5 starts, he's had 15 fantasy points or fewer. Got a weighted OPS of 788 against the lineup. I like some home run props for the Astros.
I like home runs too, Kyle.
There we go. Too. Home runs just happened?
Tell you.
You just get a good home run?
Yeah,
who did? The Mets did? Wow. Yeah. So the Mets hit their first home run in 6 months?
No, we've actually been hitting some home runs as of late.
There we go. Yeah. One guy I want to focus on for Houston is the lefty Yordan Alvarez. These are one of those situations where you go, wait, it's a lefty versus lefty. Yordan Alvarez is legitimately 60 points better versus left-handed pitching than he is versus right-handed pitching. Kikuchi, of course, better against lefties. In his career, 5 of 13, a couple of home runs. Of course, we like the righties. Altuve, Gurriel, Alex Bregman, 5 of 13, a home run as well. I think the Astros get their over 4.5 -110. They just profile too nicely. 6 of their 8 projected hitters tonight, including the lefty Alvarez, have an advantage of 31% or more. I like that Astros team total as well in the value menu.
There you go. Odds boosted time yesterday, and 1 for 11 for runners in scoring position to combine between the Red Sox and Tampa. Doused me as I was on my way to cashing that ticket, but beggars can't be choosers. We come back again today on this one. Also, there's a double nerfy yesterday, which got smoked up into flames as well. But today, I'm going to come back here on BetMGM as well. I like this one here. It's a fun look. I credit different, sports books giving me something to chew on that's not the same old every day. Check this one out. Lions boost up from +145 to +180. Both teams to score at least 1 run in the first 3 innings of their game between the Yankees and the Angels. Love that wager tonight. Love that. Give me 1 in the first, and let's scramble over the next 2 innings to see if the other team can pick up at least 1 run at this point. So I'm going to take the BetMGM odds boost. Both teams to score at least 1 run in the first 3 innings between the Yankees and the Angels. +180. I'm in it to win it. Where are you going, Jason?
DraftKings has Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to hit a home run, boosted from 230 to 270. Not a huge boost, but he does have 2 home runs in 6 plate appearances against Aiken. Last night, Guerrero went off for a couple home runs as well. Looks like he's getting hot. Not the best power hitter against lefties this season, especially as of late, just a 120 ISO. But you're going off of those numbers where he already has 2 home runs against Aiken. So he's seen him well. He has a lot of power against him. Then, of course, Aiken's not going to be starting the entire game. You'll get that bullpen as well. Although Aiken did go 7 innings in his last start. With our other bet, I think we don't expect him to go very deep in this game. We think the Blue Jays will score plenty of runs. So Guerrero should have some play appearances against that Orioles bullpen on top of Aiken if he doesn't get the job done there. So we'll roll with that +270. We'll try to get back-to-back home run boosted props to hit.
There you go. Odds boosted, Kyle. Your favorite section of the day. Let's go to Kyle for his odds boost.
It's my favorite part of the morning, searching for my favorite odds boost. It brings me so much joy every morning, and people wonder why I'm drinking at 10 a.m. No, I'm going to the Chicago White Sox-Pittsburgh game, and spoiler alert, we may be talking about this game a little more here in just a segment or two, but DraftKings has 3+ home runs for the White Sox boosted from 225 up to 265. Look, you've got the righty Bryce Wilson on the mound. I don't think I need to tell you that Bryce Wilson is not a world beater. It's the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the card tonight in terms of lineup versus pitcher at 10.09. Guys like Jimenez, smash right-handed pitching. Jose Abreu, smash right-handed pitching. Brian Goodwin, smashes right-handed pitching. Yasmani Grandal, not bad. Cesar Hernandez, good against righties. I think the White Sox can get to 3 home runs tonight. I like the advantage here. Again, highest weighted OPS on the card. White Sox 3+ home runs boosted to 265 over at my least favorite sports book, DraftKings.
Boosted. All right, let's get the best bets on the Major League Baseball board. Now, I do want to preface by saying I'm going to give out, multiple plays every day, but the betting numbers and for tracking purposes here, I got to recalibrate some things here because I gave away some money on my best bets over the past 2 weeks here, and I want to make sure that we're getting it right. Now, I did play Baltimore's 2.5 minus 160. That's in the door. And I also played this next game, the Rockies team total at 4.5, and not a lot of juice in this one. That's only at minus 105. And it comes against some of the numbers that I just like to look at. The downsides of this is if they can open up the roof in Texas, it would be sensational. But they haven't been doing that, and they probably won't do that again tonight. But just looking at Lyles over the past 30 days and the second half of the Major League Baseball season, he has been an abject disaster. So when we take a look at the Colorado Rockies and how they profile tonight against the righty Lyles, Joe leading off, 246. Story, 276. Cron, 413. Nunez, 421. Hilliard, 327 ISO power numbers right up and down that lineup. Some really good weighted on base percentages. But one of the numbers I love to look at is how does Lyles do against both lefties and righties? 456 weighted on base average to lefties over the past month. 409 to righties. He should be able to get lit up. I should be able to get the 5 runs. So technically, this is my best bet today that I'm going to have. I'm just not going as heavy on what I used to do. And if I win it, fantastic. It's not going to count against my overall record on my best bets and bankers. The same way if it loses. I'm trying to calibrate here as we head towards September. I like both of these plays, but I'm just not sure these numbers check out once that calendar turns over to late August and September. If you feel me, if we're going to get down on it, you still should get some money. Jason, what do you got today?
All right, so I like the Reds here over 2.5 in the first 5 innings against the Cardinals. I got it at plus 100 on DraftKings. Now, yeah, there is some weather issues here, so we'll see if this game does play. But when it comes down to it, this is by far, to me, the best lineup against a pitcher outside that White Sox game. I think Kyle touched on that a little bit, but a lot of people are down on the Reds after struggling against 2 subpar lefties. But we told you on this show that they're not nearly as good against lefties as they are against righties. And I don't think he's out. I think that's a bad call. Just want to point that out. But I like the Reds here over 2.5 in the first 5. India, 333 ISO. Naquin, 415 ISO. Castellanos, 295 ISO. Votto, 318 ISO. Moustakas, 256 ISO. Barnhart, 250 ISO. Schrock, 300 ISO. As a group, 285 ISO against righties in the last 30 days. Also, 392 weighted OBA, striking out just 21.5% of the time, hitting ground balls 33.3% of the time, and hitting line drives 27.1% of the time. Now, Mikolas, this will be his 4th start of the season. He had shoulder injuries, a forearm injury, and he faced 2 games where he faced the Pirates since coming back from his forearm injury. Yeah, the Pirates, they just got rid of their hitting coach. That's how bad their hitting has been. And even then, in 9.1 innings pitched, Mikolas allowed 10 hits, 5 runs, 19 fly balls, 1 home run in those 2 games. Didn't really look very good. And so we're going to go with the Reds here, over 2.5 in the first 5. Love the lineup. I think Mikolas is not nearly as good. So we're going to go with that. And I don't know if this game will be played, but it just checks out. So I'm going to have to play it anyway.
Let's go play it there, Kyle. Step up here. Hey, remember, Jeremy spoke in
yeah, I love
it. Today. Now, it's great because his name's Jeremy, and I feel you because, as I said in the chat box there were some stupid songs about my last name as well that I had to hear over and over. It's not funny after the 3rd time, but it is what it is, Kyle. What do you got today? Best bets and bankers. Spoken.
It could be worse. I grew up knowing no Kyles, and now all of a sudden it's like the it's the meme for people who drink Monster Energy drink and have neck tattoos. And I'm like, well, wait, I'm the old Kyle. And then you see some of these commercials where it tells where the girl's like, don't text back with your ex, and the ex that's hitting her up is Kyle. I'm like, man, we're getting a bad rap around here. So I'm just like the modern era. It's not cool to be named Kyle. That's how it goes. So for my play of the day here, I'm going back to that White Sox game. I do understand someone in the chat, it's kind of crappy value, I guess, on the odds boost White Sox 3+ home runs, but their power projects nicely against Bryce Wilson. So I think it's the most likely one, and you're getting an extra 35-40 cents there. So that's why we're going there. And their team total today is over 5.5. It's at minus 115. So yes, you need them to score 6 runs. But like I said, the highest weighted OPS on the card. I love the White Sox when Yasmani Grandal is back in the lineup and catching. Of course, we have to wait and see if Tim Anderson will indeed be in the lineup. He was held out of the last game with leg soreness. Even though he profiles much better against lefties than righties, you still like those White Sox team totals when Tim Anderson's in the lineup. But we've got advantages up and down the board versus right-handed pitching here for the White Sox. In particular, this particular right-handed pitcher who struggled against righties as well, giving up an 804 OPS. I think the White Sox score here. I like their team total over 5.5. I like it at -115. And for those of you looking for the strikeout prop, Keegan Aiken going up against the Toronto Blue Jays. He's only had more than 3 strikeouts in 3 of his last 10 starts. The Toronto Blue Jays strike out the second fewest in all of baseball. His strikeout prop under 3.5 at plus money today at +100. I like the strikeout under prop for Keegan Aiken.
And nice hearty congratulations to Jason in the chat box for closing on his house. Congratulations, Jason, the proud new homeowner today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soon.
And he's engaged today, too. He did it all in one day.
I'm just waiting for Lindor to homer right here so I can shove it up you guys here. But I'm just hoping
the house. He's got the proposal. He's got the ultrasound scheduled for tomorrow. Things are moving in Jason's direction.
Going on for Jason right now.
A lot of stuff going on here. Let's get to the odds lightning round and rip it around Major League Baseball. See what we can find. Michaelis on the mound versus Gray today. St. Louis and Cincinnati, 901, 902. How about this? Line moving in the right direction for the Cincinnati Reds. Why? Pinnacle opened up at -136, now sits at a 155. FanDuel opened up at a 158, now sits at a 166. But the total dropping. Pinnacle at 9, FanDuel at 9, now 8.5 across the board at a few outlets here. We'll see the movement. And I got to tell you, looking at this game and capping it early, not a real big fan of Michaelis in this game tonight. I do think Cincinnati will be able to hit in this one. But taking a look, clearly to me, the better pitcher is Gray over Michaelis. We'll see if that holds up. Playoff, or at least wild card atmosphere, Jason, in this one today.
Yeah, now the total probably went lower because of the weather and the forecast there. But like you said, also the Reds, their bats should be able to explode in this game. If it wasn't for the weather, it'd be just a really great play. Like I said earlier, 285 ISO, weighted OBA 392 against righties in their last 30 days. And like I tell you guys all the time, I'm seeing in the chat, the Reds, they don't hit. They're struggling as of late. Everything's within the stats. Like, yeah, they've struggled against lefties. We knew that going into the last 2 games. They haven't hit lefties really well. They have hit righties very well. All of the numbers and stats they tell you the entire story. So look at the stats, understand the stats, analyze them, and you'll be profitable. He did not swing. We got bases loaded with 1 out for the Metsies here, so we're gonna try to get there. But
he swung.
Yeah. No, he did not swing. Great at bat, Lindor. I think he was down 0-2, came back, and just a great bat. I know Kyle.
What did they pay for that great at bat? $4.5 million for
yeah,
you're not paid to walk.
Just a great at bat. Yeah,
hey man, if you can just get us a walk, that's $4 million per walk. We'll just give you.
Yeah. So yeah,
right,
anyways,
next
go take the Reds. Yeah, the Reds. That's my play of the day. I love them. Think their offense is great. The weather, obviously, the one concern, but if the game plays, they should be able to score 3 runs in the first 5 innings.
Philadelphia and Washington, 903, 904. The Phillies on a hot streak. Washington is trash, and yet you look at there and see a slight favorite towards Washington. Why would you say why? Because when you're trying to get into a wild card race and you still run out Matt Moore every 5th day, that's why you're not a favorite to a horrible baseball team. 9.5 across the board here. We're probably looking at runs. I don't like Patrick Corbin. I don't like Mr. Moore on the mound, both lefties. Not think you can get 10 runs in this game, Kyle.
Yeah, I think so too, but I went ahead and stayed the hell away because Matt Moore is absolutely god-awful. Trying to pick a side in this game. Are the Phillies the better team than Washington? Of course they are, but it's Matt Moore. It's very rare where you're going to hear me say Washington has the advantage because Patrick Corbin is on the mound. I mean, that guy's a can as well, but he's actually better than Matt Moore. I would stay the hell away from this game unless you want to give yourself a chance with that over or the team total on both sides. Both teams should be able to hit Philly. It's a weighted OPS off Corbin of 838, one of the highest ones on the card. And then when you flip that over to Matt Moore, it's 878. So this is the highest combined weighted 3-year OPS of 2 pitchers versus lineups on the card. I'm a little bit mad at Washington and Philadelphia. I had the no home runs by Wheeler. And, of course, the guy for Washington to get the home run, Kiter bleeping Kaiboom. I mean, the guy has like 3 home runs his whole career.
Kaiboom, baby.
Here comes this idiot and hits a home run yesterday. I we were talking about HPV before the show. I hope he has that secretly and gets something. That guy. All right? That's just ridiculous. Me and Kiter Kaiboom, not friends anymore. But, no, I do think there's runs scored in this game. Both team totals are live. But in terms of picking a side, I guess dog or pass. There's just no way I'm taking the Nationals as a favorite with Corbin. And there's no way I'm laying anything on Matt Moore. Just can't do it unless I'm taking an under strikeout prop. By the way, which is live because Washington does, for all their woes, does not strike out very often. So that Matt Moore under strikeout prop is absolutely in play.
Pete Alonso up in the bottom of the 5th inning. I got a little kick out of Dom Smith popping out, and then I guess whoever the production crew forgot that there was only 2 outs in the inning and we're ready to go to a commercial break and had to pull it back. So we'll see
it's
if
early.
Pete
It's
Alonso
early.
can save it.
Well,
Yeah,
you may as well go to
Pete
commercial.
Alonso
You
can
want to
save it.
watch another Mets at bat? Like,
Well, Pete Alonso,
let's talk about Nestle and Dove body soap for Christ's sake. I'd rather watch a Dove body soap commercial than a Mets strikeout here, which is coming after that foul ball.
Watch out there. Next game up here, Baltimore, Toronto. Aiken, the lefty. Ryu, the lefty. Heavy favorite. FanDuel, -320. DraftKings, -320. Bet365 in New Jersey, -300. PointsBet New Jersey, -310. 9.5 across the board. I do think we get runs in this game. Do I want to pay a price of -320? Probably not. But that doesn't mean like, hey, let's take the 260 on Aiken here, Jason.
Yeah, look, the Orioles, they can score as well. Now, Ryu, we talked about him. We said he was a really consistent pitcher until this year. He's been a little bit off this year. And, of course, the Orioles, they've hit lefties pretty well this season as Pete hit the foul ball 1-2 count here. But, yeah, as Nas Booth, I like Vlad to hit a home run +270. On DraftKings, Blue Jays over 3 in the first 5. We talked about this already. Lots of guys have, solid numbers against Aiken in their short sample sizes. I think as a team, they have an OPS over 1.000. So, yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays should do fine offensively and get the job done. But, yeah, don't go putting -300 on the Blue Jays because the Orioles can absolutely hit some and score some runs as well.
All right, let's keep moving down the list here. Oakland and Detroit. Irvin is on the mound, the lefty. So if we take a look here, 5.64 xFIP number of the second half of the season. So somebody should be able to do some damage against him. But from insurrection to resurrection for Skubal. Look at the second half of the season for this guy. A 3.36 xFIP. What? This is one of those guys we used to circle the wagons and hammer and go up against. Detroit hovering around a -105 to -110, depending on where you're shopping at today. That's incredible stuff here. Kyle, what? Skubal? Dominant? What?
I was prepared to say the Tigers are live dogs until I realized, holy shit, the Tigers are not dogs against the A's. So, of course, the A's are live dogs. Now, Cole Irvin stinks. I mean, he's just so bad.
And
the Tigers actually
bet against him too.
Yeah, I know. I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole because, look, it's a dog or pass situation. Oakland's one of the better teams who are an underdog today against one of the worst teams in baseball. But there's no denying. I mean, if you'd have said this to us 4 months ago that we would be saying Tariq Skubal is exponentially better than Cole Irvin, I think we would have said we're crazy. But that's the reality of the situation here. Both teams have pretty high weighted OPSs here. 884 for the Tigers against Irvin. 809, for the A's against Skubal. It's a dog or pass here. You got to go with the better team and take them as a dog. I'm not laying any favorite money on the Tigers. There's just no fucking way I'm taking the Tigers as a favorite. I mean, that's just crazy talk here. So it would be Braves, dog or pass, but for me, a complete stay away because it's hard to trust the A's as well. It seems almost a little bit too easy, right? When you see the A's as underdogs against the Tigers. Feels like a trap for me. I'm going to stay away.
There you go. Colorado, Texas up. Gomber, the lefty, versus Lyles. I do have a nice play in this one. I do think the Colorado Rockies can get the 5 runs. They're a slight favorite here, Jason. 8.5 across the board between the Rocks and the Texas Rangers.
Why is he smiling too? I hate that he's smiling.
No, it's a 3-2 count here for Pete Alonso, who doesn't have a single grand slam in his entire career.
He's getting struck out. He's getting struck out.
He did. He struck out. You're
there
right.
You go.
He did.
On a ball 4. On a ball 4. On a slider. It's a good slider. Hernandez has a good slider, but damn, that was kind of off the plate.
Come on, Pete.
Wow.
I mean, how many times have we talked about it? Best hitter, bases loaded, could drive in runs. What the hell is going to happen to you?
Yeah, I'd rather have nobody on. Give me.
He has a 136. He has a 136 average when bases are loaded, and he has no grand slams in 22
Who is it? JD? Which one of the Mets, Jason? Is it JD Davis? Somebody struck out like 6 straight times with the bases loaded. Is that JD Davis?
I mean, it might be at this point. It could be any of the players. I mean, they're so.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that you come up with bases loaded and you get sat down 6 straight times? Jesus.
Yeah.
God.
So anyway, back to this Rockies Rangers game. As I swallow my pride a little bit here, the Rockies 244 ISO weighted OBA 379 against righties in the last 30 days. Now that really kind of comes more when they're home instead of being on the road. But this is a Texas pitching staff that's not very good. Obviously, Lyles 5.32 xFIP. Strikeouts are low, walks are high, ground balls are low. Line drive rate also high for Lyles. Hard contact nearing 60%. That's really ridiculous. So yeah, I like the Rockies here. I like their offense, and I know they're not nearly as good when they're on the road. But at the end of the day, if you're going to pick a side and you're going to pick a team, it's going to be the Rockies in this one.
Confirmed starter now, Jacob Junis for Kansas City as they take on Cleveland, and Zach Plesac, 919, 920. Slight favorite here as it bounces around, roughly a -120, -115 for the Kansas City Royals. We'll see if that flips around now that he's been the confirmed pitcher. 8.5s to 9s across the board, Kyle. Any thoughts on this game here? Two lineups that don't look all that good, but I certainly trust Cleveland's lineup much more than I do Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm with you, and this kind of throws me off. I had Mike Minor listed on my little thing here, so now that it's switched to whoever the hell you said it was. Yeah, I'd slightly lean Cleveland here. Now my numbers are all a little bit different, so it's hard for me to get a perfect thing here. I will say in terms of the Royals off of Plesac, if you're looking for some sort of underdog spot, they have hit him decently the last couple of starts. Plesac's also got some high upside, so we've got a wide range of outcomes here. It's a weighted 604 OPS. A guy like Salvador Perez still live for a home run prop here. If you're looking to be a little bit contrarian, you can go with the Royals as live dogs here because, again, Cleveland's not some dominant favorite that you're necessarily afraid of. Outside of Ramirez and Franmil Reyes, it's not the scariest of lineups. Lean Cleveland here, but I will say I do think the Royals are live dogs in this one.
Don't need a lot of factoring on this next one. Pittsburgh and the Chicago White Sox, 927, 928. Wilson and Giolito, 360 as a favorite here in New Jersey, 337 offshore, 9s across the board. One of those lineups and one of those pitching staffs and one of those bullpens. It's mismatches, Jason, all over the place in this one.
Yeah, Kyle talked about having that 3-home run boost for the White Sox. It can happen because Robert Abreu, Jimenez, all three of those guys are crazy good power bats against Wilson, who's been really bad, allowing power to righties in the last 30 days, an ISO of 235 to righties in the last 36 plate appearances. So, yeah, lots to like in this lineup for the White Sox. Obviously, with Grandal back, I mean, it's a stacked lineup just from top to bottom. And obviously, Pittsburgh, they got Sugo and Reynolds, but, they just fired their hitting coach. That shows you how bad their hitting has been this year. They're not a big home run threat team outside of maybe I got Sugo who hit that home run to walk off the other day. But outside that, Giolito should do just fine, and the White Sox should get the win. So I'm taking the over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at -140. That's the value play for me.
Two bad baseball teams, Cubs and the Twins here. Davies versus Gant, 140s to 154, depending on where you're shopping at. 9.5s across the board. It's kind of interesting here. Zach Davies over the second half of the Major League Baseball season. ERA very high, 6.52, but he does have a lower xFIP of 3.88. And then we take a look at Gant. He's got a 4 xFIP number through 20 innings over the second half of the baseball season. Dare I say slight under in this one, but this is two bad Gant teams. I will not be watching tonight, Kyle.
Yeah, no, I have no desire to watch this. Now, I will say here, and I'm not taking this anything official, but the Cubs are +120 on the money line in the first 5 innings. That's just a fade of Gant. John Gant, for as bad as Zach Davies is, which I agree he's bad, John Gant is even worse. If you actually look at his last 5 starts against the Cubs, here's his fantasy totals here. 10, -7, 6, 4, and 1. This is not going to be an innings eater. He does not profile well. For as bad as that Cubs lineup is, they should be able to hit. So for me, it's a dog or pass situation here. I'll take that plus money on the money line on the Cubs in the first 5 innings. I don't mind the over as well in the first 5 innings. Both pitches are absolutely hittable. You got a total of 5 here. If you go over, you get it at -120. Both teams should be able to hit. Both lineups profile pretty nicely, and I do think the Cubs are live dogs in the first 5 innings.
There you go. We'll see if we watch in that game. How about this one? Snell, the lefty on the mound versus Gallen. 8 across the board, and the heavy favorite here for San Diego on the road against Arizona. Snell versus Gallen, Jason. Some quick thoughts on this one here.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a Snell fan at this point. Both pitchers have had their ups and downs this season. Gallen, 4.34 xFIP in his last 30 days. The ground ball rate is low. The line drive rate is high. The hard contact also high. And he's been really bad against righties. 423 weighted OBA, ISO of 429 for Gallen against righties. So guys like Machado, Tatis, Pham in that lineup against Gallen all should do well in this spot. And Arizona, try to get that up. Snell's looked a lot better. His 3.26 xFIP in the last 30 days, striking out nearly 38% of batters. So he's been a lot better. Really, the Diamondbacks lineup, they've got Ahmed, Marte, and Kelly doing some damage, but Snell giving up some power to righties, that's about it. He's been a lot better, and I guess since they got rid of their pitching coach, that's when it's happened. So give Snell some credit. I think the Padres got the job done here.
Over 400 people watching on a Tuesday.
Love
So
it.
we're going to keep rolling through here. A couple more games. Back to go Woodruff versus undecided, which could be Quintana on the mound for San Francisco. Seems like a mismatch to me. Woodruff at a -120 to a -136. I'll take the better pitcher. I'll take the team that I think is going to win this one. Once again, that's the Milwaukee Brewers. They just do it each and every time. If I'm going to have the better pitching matchup going against the Giants, where you could say, hey, maybe the lineups will cancel each other out, I'll take the starting pitcher at a cheap number here. That's where I'm looking. Woodruff and the Milwaukee Brewers, Kyle.
Yeah, and I actually misspoke earlier. I said Walker Buehler had the lowest weighted 3-year OPS against the Braves. It's actually Woodruff at 547, just slightly lower against this Giants team. In his last 2 starts, he'd had a really nice start his last time against the Giants, put up 43 fantasy points. They won the baseball game. The time before that, it was only a 4. So there is an opportunity here for the Giants. Again, we don't necessarily know who's going to pitch. Quintana should get lit up by that lineup. After what the Giants did last night, they didn't give you a whole lot to be inspired by. But anytime the Giants are underdogs at home, you have to give them a live look there. If they're going to indeed be the underdog, I don't see numbers on it because they haven't decided on the pitcher. I don't know if you guys see one, but Giants are always a live dog at home when they're the underdog, even though they have less talent than the Brewers. Milwaukee, certainly the better pitcher, Woodruff, and he's shown the upside against them. And again, the lowest weighted 3-year OPS. So you can make an argument both ways. It makes a ton of sense to take the Brewers, especially if you get a short number. If that number gets too large, right? If we start getting to these -160, -170 type ranges, whatever it comes out as, maybe you look at the Giants just based on that number as a live dog. But if you get a short enough number between 120, 150, Brewers -135 money line, that makes a ton of sense for the Brewers. Thank you, Jason, for that.
All right, last game we'll talk about Houston and Seattle. McCullers versus Kikuchi on the mound today. You know, it looks open up at 150 All-Shore Pinnacle. Now sits at 156. 156 opening at FanDuel. That's now up to 174. 8 across the board. Late night action, Jason. Astros and the Mariners.
Yeah, I'm thinking Houston's the play here. Kikuchi, 5.54 xFIP in the last 30 days, also striking out under 20% of the batters and walking 12% of batters. Hard contact, also high. Line drive rate is high as well. And for one, the Astros really don't strike out too often against lefties. They do hit a solid amount of line drives. They limit their ground balls as well. So Altuve struggled a little bit. Brantley has struggled a little bit. But outside that, they're doing all right as an offense, and they should get the job done against Kikuchi here. So I guess the Astros over on the team total would be the play in this one.
I believe it. All right, let's clear the bases, get out here on a Tuesday, and it is a Dinger Tuesday, so I'm going to have to do some homework here to try to come up and get back off the schneid after having, 7 straight wins, going for 8 in a row last week. Avisal Garcia hit a ball to the warning track, wasn't good enough, but I always love Dinger Tuesday, so I'll be in play today. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll put one out tonight, see if we can eat on that and maybe get that streak going again. But let's let the good people know what's going on out here with exactly what we have to clear the bases. 2 games I'm playing tonight. Baltimore, Orioles, team total. -160, over 2.5, -160 at BetMGM. Also, the Rockies, 4.5, -105. Same bet there at BetMGM. And also my odds boost tonight, make it a trifecta at BetMGM. Angels, Yankees to score 1 run apiece over the first 3 innings. That cashes at 180. So I'm rooting tonight, Jason. What do you got?
So as a value play, White Sox over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at -140. Then also we're going to be on the Blue Jays over 3 in the first 5 on the team total at -121. Get that 3 via points bet and the 2.5 for the White Sox through DraftKings. But also on DraftKings, Vlad to hit a home run boosted from 230 to 270. So we'll go with that with the odds boost. And then, of course, the big play be the Reds over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at +100. Now, be aware this game does have an earlier start time, I think at 6:30 instead of 7 or 7:30. So keep that in mind if you want to get that wager in before 6:30.
All right, Kyle, what do you have today?
First of all, let me say thank you to the chat box and everyone watching. Over 400 people, 160 thumbs up. So you guys brought the heat there. Awesome. Really appreciate you guys. Awesome. Good work. That's why we wake up, get excited, and try to get things right. We got to bounce back today, and I got a bunch of picks. We're going to get shit done tonight. Let's start on the value menu. We got the Astros team total over 4.5 at -110. We've got the Red Sox team total over 3.5, -135. We've got the Dodgers -0.5 in the first 5 behind Walker Buehler at -125. Our odds boost, we're going to take those White Sox to get 3+ home runs off of a can of a pitcher and a bullpen there against Pittsburgh. Again, the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the slate. That's why our play of the day is going to be the White Sox over 5.5 at -115. It's about as high of a team total as I will take, but I think they get the runs done tonight. And for those also strikeout under prop, again, Keegan Aiken against a Toronto team with the second fewest strikeouts in baseball, a guy who's only hit over 3 strikeouts 3 times in his last 10 starts. So I do like his under 3.5 strikeout prop at plus money. You can find that over at my bookie at plus 100. And our 5 guys we have on our home run list tonight. We hit 3 last night. Let's hope we can do the same tonight. JD Martinez, 12 of 21. Don't forget that. Just absolutely smashes Ryan Yarbrough. Jose Abreu, Aaron Judge, who profiles beautifully off of Berry and has hit a home run as well. Yordan Alvarez, we talked about that lefty versus lefty matchup. He's one of those few lefties along with Kyle Seager and Joey Gallo, who hits lefties better than he hits righties. But for him, it's exponentially better. For him, it's 60 points better. And, of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. off of Keegan Aiken. I think he gets it done as well.
All right. Awesome stuff once again for the chat box out there. It is almost football season as well. Big doings next week from a particularly the NFL. College football is already underway. If you guys aren't supporting that stuff, go check out the videos for the college football, which are ramped up, locked and loaded, and ready to go. Big things here, as we say, at sportsbookreview.com, but it all starts with you guys in the chat box. Thank you so much for supporting the shows that we do. 87,800 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We love the engagement. And as I said, chat box brings it each and every day we come in here and talk Major League Baseball. Thank you guys for that. I'm Donnie RightSide, along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We have the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. This was your Tuesday show. And as always, good luck on those wagers.